Allegewi's all we got. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. A lot of things has happened, and as the recorder of a Mexican almanac, we're going to speak about it. Let's talk it over, have a conclusion, and weigh it up on the scales, brothers and sisters. On the dial plate, as they say. Within North America, there was 21 nations and 52 societies that agreed to that perpetual peace. So when a nation engages with another nation, they are not to intervene in their affairs, especially with military intervention. How does the rights of a corporate entity supersede that of the human? That's what I want to know. A created creature, how does the rights of that created creature supersede a human's rights? When one nation engages with another, they are not to use military intervention. The city corps agreed to pay for all damages because they know they are the one that instigated a hostile situation. Now I want to speak about what is the cure for the problem that ails us. And Allah is my protector. Let's go back to the rise of the Moors when they was kidnapped. Right after that happened, 7 to 9 of them either died horrifically or they lost their positions. There was a European daughter that pulled over on the side of the road to help someone that was out of gas. And she was a state trooper. And she was hit by a semi-tanker full of petrol. Like, that's what I mean. And all of that happened in Massachusetts. And you remember when they went to the trial in the 1920s, and in the paper it said, juror fell sick, Allah to blame, in regards to the Moors when they was going through their trial, to look death in the face. These Europeans, soon they're going to realize when they do stuff to the Moors, that it's like Final Destination, brothers and sisters. And now I understand what arbitrarily meant when he said the European will have to look death in the face. So when they do wrong things to the Moors and they watch natural occurrences happen and it's wiping them out, because Massachusetts state troopers, they had to have been wondering like, what is going on? Everybody's dying like flies. And this is from natural occurrences, from Allah's movements and guides. They're probably going to start messing with more Moors, but they're going to end up seeing this Final Destination stuff, brothers and sisters. Go look it up. Massachusetts state troopers lose their positions. When all that stuff happened with Rise of the Moors, all of them started dying off, and it's crazy. I have every right to speak this way because Allah is my protector. So that means when I'm done wrong, then He is my protector. And all these lessons, it specifically says, if they don't listen to if they don't take heed, they just gonna die. Also, it is very important to speak to your family, even the ones that don't really believe in what you're studying or anything, but you let them know that, hey, if anything happens to me and you put me in the paper, I want you to put the Bay or L. You know, let them know the importance of it, the paramount importance of it, because, you know, families don't pay attention, but you need to look them in the eyes and tell them like, hey, you put any images out of me in public, make sure it's this picture right here that has the fez on, and put that Bay and L, and you just let them know. Be like, look, I know if you don't agree with anything, don't throw me under the denationalization bus and not put the Bay or L, or put out a picture with 2 crosses on the wall. That's what happened with the brother from around Pittsburgh territory. The news put out an image of the brother, and behind him on the wall there was 2 crosses. Like, who gave them that image? He wouldn't have wanted that. Like, you know, when Christians, when they pass away and there is an image that's going to be put in the news, they'll try to give one that has a cross or something like that. Like, they shouldn't have did that, man. They knew he was a Muslim. There was a lot of human rights violations. Like Article 10, everyone is entitled to full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal. Make sure you tell your family how important it is. If you ever see Latif's gravestone, you know, Latif Ibn Bey, and that's the son of the Beys, because I'm a Muslim son. I don't care if you got to etch it with the rock, Muslim son on there. You know what I'm saying? Or Ibn Bey or Embry or Stenik, Holheimer, all of that. Nah, Muslim son will be enough for my peace, Islam, on that. If you ever see it, etch it in. But that's what I mean. Let your people know. But if it wasn't the family, like if you're sitting here steaming at me right now and it wasn't you and it was the news and they did find an image of them with the crosses, then that was a setup anyway. So either way, if the news found the image, they did that on purpose. And if the family did it, they should have paid attention and honored what the brother wanted, because he was standing on his square. And you have other people that's telling you that he was doing that too. So it ain't just him. This is confirmation. You have a second opinion. What the brother was saying civically, he was true and correct. What he stated civically, he's true and correct. Nationality is the order of the day. And like, this is proof. When them mercenaries die and they have a funeral, this is what happened at Massachusetts. One of them mercenaries died, and you see they standing there in kilts, full nationality and birthright, honoring their foremothers and forefathers. You see? So that's why it's important, families, to make sure to honor what your family wants, especially when they're talking about their Moorish or their nationality, their birthrights, their titles, and all of that. Respect that and let them go to peace with that. Indeed. So let's get it. This is the man claiming to be a Sharif, Moorish title, a Sharif. Sharif, Kevin M. Cross. So we got someone claiming a Moorish title, Sharif, and his last nom de guerre is Cross. On behalf of my deputies and civilian staff, welcome to the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office. It is a privilege to serve as your Sharif and an honor to work with such a dedicated group of people. Everything we do is focused on public safety. Sharif Kevin M. Cross. Cross, curly. The surname Cross comes from the German word cross, which means curly. As a nickname, the surname was given to a person who had curly hair. There he goes, he can't even be a Cross because a cross is a Moor. The origin of the proud surname Cross can be traced to the historic kingdom of Bohemia, but he's focused on public safety, but he's using drones, tear gas, firearms, all kinds of craziness on the streets in close quarters. You seen those houses, they was very close together. And also at first they said that there was a so-called officer shot, but then it turned out that he scraped his head and tripped over a table or something. Then you go back and look at the videos and you see where they are editing and cutting it out when they're starting to talk about this so-called officer that was shot or how he tripped or whatever, because that could have popped off everything right there if he tripped and fired his weapon or whatever. But I know they was firing tear gas and using drones as well. And as far as that's military operations, using drones and stuff, man. Come on now. And they was in fatigues and all militaried up over a eviction. Curley, or the chief deputy, said publicly there was no prior incidents before this, and he knows there was. But they showed up for the eviction with, guess what? 7 armored men. But he said there was no previous problems with them and they didn't expect this, but they showed up with 7 armored men. So yeah, in the beginning when I heard about this, I was in anger, brothers and sisters. I was in anger. But then I realized that Allah intervenes in my life every day, and I see wondrous things. I connect with brothers all the way across the world, and I contact them. They be like, brother, I was just speaking about you 2 minutes ago. Or just like Moors will be having lives, and they'll be speaking, and then I come on to the live, or they come on. It's crazy, brothers and sisters. So as far as the conclusion is, you're going to watch a lot of devastation happen to these Europeans because they're going to have to look death in the face. But once it happens, know that love, truth, peace, freedom was ignored. So then justice had to come. And that's just what it was. It was the plan of Allah. So when they're looking up to you as children and scared and don't know what to do, then treat them as your fellow man and uplift. Indeed. And the other ones, they're going to fall to the wayside. But there's going to be ones that look up to you, you know, just like how I did. But I seen it way before they did. I heard the bomb ticking. And I'm trying to tell everybody about this bomb, but they just ignoring it. Because how you going to ignore this bomb ticking here? Then you have Moors that are sick like this. I'm European, keep in mind, I'm pale skinned, right? Like I have a red beard or whatever, and I have freckles or whatever, but you know, every Moor considers me a European. And I'm telling you that this is hateful. And he put DOA, is that supposed to mean dead on arrival, brothers and sisters? So all the Moors that went to sleep that night, and you know, they vibe and they vibration and frequency was a little bit lower because of what happened to the Moor, the universe felt that and the energy went out, you know. So as far as everyone being Allah and being one with Allah, we all put out our energy that night and Allah got that. So you best be ready for what's about to come. And that's going to be justice, brothers and sisters. Justice. The prophet said earthquakes, everything is sure to come. Devastation is sure to come. But let's end this right. So August 30th is a super blue full moon, brothers and sisters. So that means the brother's transitioning at a very special time. I was reading in this text that your deeds fill up in the moon. And then when it waxes over, then it's sent back. But it also spoke of your spirit. When the moon fills up and it's bright, it's filled with all the spirits. And then when it starts to wax, then it's starting to send the spirits back to Allah. So the brother is transitioning at a very, very strong time right now. So Islam to that brother. One of the first videos I ever did, like maybe 12, 11 years ago, I was speaking of the moon is the Earth's natural satellite. You know, during that time is when you started hearing all the whining sounds in the video. Just like when Cujo, in one of the songs he has, he says, I'm thinking it's my headphones, but it's the skull and bones, talking about the whining that was in the video. But yeah, it said it right in the dictionary. And it was an abridged dictionary too, like a 80s dictionary. It said it right there. The moon is the Earth's natural satellite. Praise be to Allah, divine honors the Prophet Nobudrali and the most divine and national movement of the world. Bismillah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah.
I try to record again, because then when I went back and looked, like I'm getting real high frequencies, like whining sounds.
Too much energy up in the room, you can hear the frequency through the microphone. Maybe it's the skull and bones trying to put me in my tomb. Sitting by a lost stone, came through the mother's womb. Through the eyes of a blue-eyed devil, pale skin furthest from the sun, Neptune level like Pharrell, dressing like Ali, how deep is the pedal? Hindus call me a netto, cause I stand on my squedo, 360, spinning counterclockwise dervish. When you cut the cares of the world off, they get nervous.